Welcome to the Fanatical Elves Show, part of the Elves Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Fanatical Elves Thursday night show. I love the best part of that for me when we start this program is Steve Gill up there and we do our little shenanigans, and Steve always he mouths my intro, which I just find that hilarious. Every time I watch it, I replay it. I just think that's just the greatest. So thank you, Steve, for doing that.
I've heard it a few times.
And Sam, the whole time, he's just like, especially
here,
yeah. So anyway, we got Steve Gill in house, we got Sam Britton in house, and these guys do their own show here on the Fanatical Elves Network, part of Fans First Sports Network, and we appreciate you tuning in. We're Browns fans just like you. It's Thursday night. We're getting prepped for the Browns versus Miami Dolphins game, which will be a play during a hurricane. I've got season tickets going up there with my stepson, Clay. Excited to be doing that. But as the week has progressed, it sounds like more and more that Sunday is going to be pretty wet and windy. So it's great football weather in Cleveland. How's the weather in Nashville, Steve, on this Thursday? And are you excited about the Browns game Sunday?
It's warm and dry. It's still about 78. Tomorrow, I think 80s. I'm pretty sure we might break a record on Saturday, 88.
Wow.
The bottom's going to drop out Sunday.
Okay.
It's going to be cool and rainy and, football weather.
Yeah. Good day for like a crock pot of whatever. Chili. That's right.
Yeah.
Man. Are you getting ready are you going to watch the Thursday night game between the two old men, Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers tonight? Okay.
The Icy Hot Bowl?
The Icy Hot Bowl, yeah.
Nah. That's good.
Yeah,
although
I like that.
I do know Mike Tomlin is 2-8 on Thursday nights. So
yes. It's very interesting. I'd like to get into a couple questions about that later, about him and his take on the whole Browns and stupid stuff like that. Yeah, we can talk about that in just a split second here. Sam, how you doing with Texas Longhorn? Sam, the man, with his
not really. I'm not really a fan. They just have good colors, to be honest. Yeah, I mean it's hot somehow still in mid-October. It's going to be 92 on Saturday. Don't exactly know what that's about. I hate Texas weather sometimes, but then you go out there at like 10:30 in the morning and it's like 78 and a little breeze and you're like, okay, maybe this is bearable. But yeah, I'm excited, somewhat excited to watch the Browns play Miami. I feel like we're not going to do anything special, but maybe Dylan Gabriel just needs a bad defense to finally kick himself into gear, maybe.
Well, let's get into that. Yeah. By the way, thank you for the weather reports. The weather reports brought to you by the Fanatical Elves Network on Thursday nights. Always tune in for the weather reports from Dallas to Nashville. All right, Sam, starting with you, let's talk about this game on Sunday. Let's talk. Before we get into the game, let's just talk a little bit about what happened after the game and just some things that have come out. There's conversation about Stefanski. There's been conversation about Myles Garrett. Question about Myles Garrett. And Steve, I want your opinion too. With Myles Garrett, because Tony Rizzo went off the cliff talking about Myles Garrett Monday. Did you catch that, Steve? I don't know if you did. I don't know if Sam did either. But
I probably did. I probably tuned it out because if I want to hear
it's Tony Rizzo.
I'll go to a nursing home.
Did you hear the comments? I mean, after the game from Myles, just about he was frustrated. Yeah. How do you think, Sam? How do you think the Browns and someone like Myles Garrett is going to? What do you expect from him?
I would. These players are in love with the game, I think would be a good way to put it. This is their pride and joy. This is going to be what they put on their mantle for their entire life. Is I was in the NFL and I was a good player. And so obviously you want to win. Obviously you want to do good. And when you don't, you get frustrated, right? Because you look at it as I've put 8 to 10 years of my life of intense physical, tiring, exhausting, hard work in, and I'm not getting anything really out of it right now. And it's kind of a
Mhm.
mindset that you're only in for a few days. You know, you lose a game and you're like, okay, this sucks. And then you kind of work your way out of it by
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday, right? And so no, obviously they're going to be very frustrated. I think that's perfectly normal and perfectly fine. It is it's a hard league, and when you lose like this where you feel like you sometimes have a chance and you just can't get it to work, I think that
Mhm.
also amplifies it. So I'm not
Mhm.
surprised he's angry because or frustrated because it's just a lot that can go wrong and a lot that can go right, and unfortunately the Browns seem to just be edging on that side. The things have gone wrong for them.
Steve, today, Grant Delpit,
Hmm.
had some quotes about losing and how he has forgotten what winning feels like. And I did want to remind him when I heard that quote that I was in the locker room when he talked to us after they did beat the Green Bay Packers. So it wasn't that long ago.
And
So
2 years ago, they were winning. So,
yeah, what do you think about that comment and just that, Miles and all of the stuff this week? Are you ready? I mean,
oh,
yeah.
they should be frustrated. But, um, you know, Miles signed that deal. He's not going to be traded. Sorry, guys. It's not going to happen. It is salary cap prohibited. So he's with the Browns for at least another 4 years. So, and yeah, they're frustrated. Uh, are you frustrated, John? I
Am I,
am,
yes, totally. Very much
because
so.
we have to watch the games so we can talk to you, the viewer, listener,
Yes.
about the game. So we
I
have to
had,
sit down in our living rooms or go to a sports
yeah,
bar or, like you, John, go face a hurricane with midges, and we
that's
have
right.
to watch the game. So, I'm frustrated too. But, this game coming up here is could be the perfect elixir for their offensive problems.
I talked to a fan of the Browns today. I was at a professional development day for us counselors, and got to talk and visit with other school counselors, which is it's always a good thing to do, and you learn. And uh, we were in this one session. They were talking about the miracle moment or the miracle question, like if you woke up and you know something changed dramatically that you weren't ready for, what would that be? the there were two uh, guy counselors in front of us. The one guy said to the other, like, "Oh, the Browns, winning the Super Bowl," and I just chuckled because we're in Columbus. So, and then, but the kid next to me, he's in his 20s. He was talking about his experience with the Browns, and he was a toddler when the Browns had Tim Couch. They rebooted in '99, and he does remember in 2003 the playoff. Was it 2002? 2000, 2002, I
2002.
yeah, so he vaguely remembers that, or at least that was his memory. So he thinks that is a good time period. That was like, obviously he wasn't around when we were, and like you were too, Steve, back in you were a child in 1964, right? Back in
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was.
You went to the game, right? Or no, you weren't at the championship game, but
No, no,
Yeah, I was only
I
negative
was
43
six.
years old at
you
that
were
point.
only negative 43.
I was six. So
Do you have memories of that? Like, do you remember that time when
yeah,
you were 6? Do you remember what it was like? I mean,
yeah, yeah. I remember going to games when I was 6, 7 years old. I mean, I moved to Nashville when I was 9, and my
okay.
dad always had tickets. Early in the season, he'd take my brother and I.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I remember.
Anyway,
I thought Jim Brown was the biggest human being I ever saw in my life.
right?
And then
Wow.
we'd go to old timers games during baseball season. They don't do those anymore.
Oh,
And my dad would try to take us to when the Indians played the first, the season opener, and
yeah.
always bat day when they gave full-size baseball bats. I
Yes.
still got my full-size baseball bat
Yes.
in my office. It's yeah.
I think they were
So-
still doing that when I was a kid, because I would go to the games in the early mid 70s. It seemed like that was still
then
a thing.
got smaller bats, and then they
Yeah.
did away with them because they eventually turned into weapons during the game.
Did you ever do that? Like, you remember Dairy Queen used to come out with those cups, right? You could put the
Oh,
ice
the
creams
helmets.
in the helmets.
The
Yeah.
batting helmets. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
I've got some somewhere.
I don't know if Sam knows what we're talking about, but they had these little cups.
Well,
yeah.
They have in the Rangers stadium, they do a baseball cap, but I think we're talking about different things.
Well, they would
Well,
do soft serve
similar.
ice cream in it.
Yeah. You'd have those
Yeah,
they
little
put ice cream
plastic.
in like the helmet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I- they do
yeah.
that, but
Little bitty things.
Okay. So you know what we're
anyway.
talking about.
yeah, I somewhat
was-
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's skip forward back to current time. This week, and coming into this game, the Browns are 1-5. I know, Steve, I listened to some of your podcast earlier in the week. Sam, I didn't get a chance to really listen to yours, but
Wow. Okay.
not.
Now you know
So-
where you stand. Sam.
Oh yeah, Sam the man. Hey, Sam did text me that he just finished it.
Oh, trust
that
me,
his-
I was this close to forgetting.
I know.
Barely got it. Something happened. I can't remember what, but it reminded me to. I was a minute away, one singular event away from not texting you.
Well, I'm very forgetful all the time, so I'm thankful that you did that, Sam. Okay, so they're 1-5. Steve, you mentioned like this is getting to the point where you don't think that there's you describe it as like rumblings, but that it could get
yeah. I've since been told that if things don't get better in the next 3 games, it's Stefanski's seat is definitely on fire. I'll put
Okay.
it to you that way.
the next
He's
3
got
games.
The next 3 games, yeah. So he's not going to.
I want to know who the hell you're talking to. Steve
you
Gill has
never
got the
will.
guy.
Because you're a blabbermouth, John. You tell the world. And I don't tell you half the stuff he tells me.
Oh, I'm
So
sure
he
you
tells
don't.
me he tells me stuff, don't tell anybody. And I go, don't worry, I won't.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So you heard it
But,
here, folks.
This, like I said earlier, this is the perfect defense to get better, and especially with the weather conditions.
Yes.
I have a preview article. Hopefully it'll be out tomorrow. I am a stern advocate for this game to have both Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Junkins in the backfield at the same time.
Yeah.
This would be the perfect game to do it. And
Sure.
then just load up big bodies. I mean, put Aiden Huntington in, put an extra offensive lineman in,
Mhm.
and just run it down their throats, because
Mhm.
they are like one of the worst rushing defenses in the league.
Yeah.
And
Do you know how
gotta
many
control
yards?
the clock,
Right. Right.
because the one thing Miami does well and Cleveland doesn't do well is they convert third downs and they score in the red zone. Cleveland is one of the worst defenses in the red zone and one of the worst on third down conversion.
Mhm.
So keep it in between the 20s
Yeah.
and just run it down their throat.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we can't. Sam, let's run it over to you here. Like, they had 52 passes. Steve mentioned, I think 58 dropbacks total or whatever.
This is ridiculous.
Last game, what do we got to do? Like he just said, Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Junkins. What would you like to see between that part of the offense, and just in general, what do you expect and what do you want to see with the Browns?
Well, I said in my podcast, yeah, 52 is way
The one
too
I didn't
many.
listen to. Okay.
Yeah, but 52 is too many for most quarterbacks just in the NFL. You don't throw that many times. 52 for someone like a rookie who's in his second start in the NFL is just too much, just period. But I think it was subject to the running game also not being able to get started against the Steelers. I think that caused them to throw the ball more. 'Cause
Sure.
They weren't going to get yards on the ground, so they had to throw the ball more to get yards. And since they couldn't run the ball, then it kind of snowballed into you just can't move the football.
Yeah.
And I think I'd stick around mid 30s in terms of passes at the max. I still feel like 40s is too high for someone who's going to be only starting for the third time in their career.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I want to see Judkins more. I want to see Sampson. He seems to have kind of not been used properly in the past few games since he had
Mhm.
that great game a few weeks ago. I'd want to see Fannin more. I think in harsh conditions like this, the tight end is amplified in its performance because you need to. It's so
Mhm.
hard to throw the ball that you just need those 3 or 4 yard dump offs so that you can
Mhm.
actually get any gains because the winds and the rain are just making everything so much hard. So yeah, I think Fannin will have a good game. I hope so. But I'd like to see Judkins and Sampson. I think they could be a good dynamic duo should you utilize them properly.
Okay. Were you surprised at all this week? There weren't any trades yet. The trade deadline is November 4th. There has been no movement. Now, do you suspect that will change if this team loses to Miami on Sunday?
I'm not sure who they trade. I feel like they've gotten calls. I wouldn't
Mhm.
know. I definitely feel like they have
I
been
bet
called a
Steve's
few
knows
times.
because he's got an insider.
Yeah, he probably does, but I feel like they've definitely gotten some calls from a few people. I don't know over who and over what and for what, but I think it's a NFL league where there's a lot of teams that are like, all right, hold on, maybe this is our year, and so they
Yeah.
want another piece or two, and they look at the sellers, and the Browns might be considered at least wins wise as a seller. I don't think
Yeah.
they are yet, but I think they've gotten some calls. I wouldn't be surprised if they have. I don't know who they'd get rid of though. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe you see Denzel Ward, but I think that's not
That
going
I
to
saw that
happen.
name. No, you don't see. Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously,
No.
Garrett's safe. I mean, you could maybe see a wide receiver get traded, but I'm not sure who wants to pick up Jerry Judy. Like, you're not going to get much from Judy other than the incompletion. I mean, heck, if your quarterback's too good and you want him to get more incompletions, just pick up Jerry Judy. I guess he'll drop the ball, but yeah, I mean trades are so unpredictable too. It feels like it's like you see these insiders come out and they're like, "Oh, this guy's going to get traded." And then the next day some guy no one was expecting to get traded is gone, right?
Yeah.
And so I think trades are hard to predict. I don't know what the Browns policy is right now or what it'll be after the Miami game, whether they're like, "All right, we have one more opportunity. If we lose this, now we're just going to start selling for next
So,
year." But I have no idea, to be honest.
they have this game against Miami. They go play at New England in Foxborough or wherever the game's at. They have
Yep.
the bye, and then they have the game against the Jets. So, Steve, what you reported earlier is that basically Stefanski's got that window of time to show
Well,
that he,
that window of time to show improvement on offense.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
And if you've watched the Jets play, I'd consider that game winnable.
yes,
And New England's up and down. Mike Vrabel goes back to Tennessee this weekend,
hmm
which should be interesting.
yeah.
And you know, let's just get through the Dolphins first.
What do you think?
Bad defense, weather conditions. I mean, this looks like a game they can win.
Wasn't the last time Miami came to town? Didn't they beat us not too
Yes.
long ago? They
Yes.
did. Yeah. Obviously,
but-
the situation's a little different.
Situation's a little different. Right now, they're a mess. I mean,
What's the thing with that? Like Tua seems like he's throwing his
running
teammates
hot
under
and
the
cold,
bus,
man.
right?
Yeah, he threw his teammates last.
That's what
week
I
under the
heard.
bus.
Like, yeah, I think Doug talked. My buddy last night. We were talking about that. Maybe that was
I mean,
him.
he
Yeah.
goes, we call player only meetings, and some players don't show up, and some players show up late. I mean, that's dysfunction.
Let me ask you
want
this.
to know dysfunction? That's dysfunction.
Well, okay, going back to Stefanski here, because Doug and I were talking about it a little bit last night, and Doug's not the only one who has this perception, and I've mentioned it too a time or two, and I know Steve, you will disagree with me, but I still want to have this conversation just one more time. He and I discussed this, and I don't know if you heard it, but basically Doug's analysis of this, and many fans, again, is that Stefanski doesn't seem, and I know you'll disagree, that if he hasn't lost the locker room, but he's not the kind of coach when you're comparing. And I know we're not comparing coaches here, but he's not a fiery like a football guy. And that when
He
even
is a
in the
football guy.
even in
There's your
the
misconception, right?
Okay, if he's
He
a
is
football guy.
football guy. How many years
All right.
was he on the staff?
All right,
in
what
Minnesota
we're getting at,
before he got
though,
hired by the
what I'm
Browns?
getting at is he's okay. Let's say he's a football guy. All right. What I'm trying to get at is that it's this the vibe, and I know it's hard to maybe you can't always tell, but there are moments when you listen to his, even in the times that he's winning, where they've won a game and he's in the locker room. It sometimes seems like it's forced, or it's just not like the players. You listen to other coaches and on other teams when they win, and the buy-in and the camaraderie just seems different. And
Yeah,
that's
they're
what
winning.
all right.
You don't see locker room
Well,
speeches when a
good
team
point.
loses.
Well, okay. I guess it's just that part of it is where I think there
I
are
bet you
fans.
Brian Callahan had a lot of choice words and was fired up. Didn't do that team any good.
Well,
Talk about dysfunction.
I
My
just well,
God,
but
they're about to pass the record for the
But
Cleveland
it-
Browns in hiring and firing GMs and head coaches.
But okay, what we're getting, like, part of this conversation that Doug and I were talking about last night again was, we're talking about the longevity of where we're at, like in getting to this dome, and even Steve, you've talked a little bit about it, and Sam, you have too, that this team is kind of going through a recycling, and they're looking at kind of trying to build this organization, this team, build it toward kind of this opening of this new dome stadium in 2029. But then our conversation that we had again last night was, can Stefanski get there? Will he get there? Or, is it realistic to think that, I mean, you get the sense like the Haslams want everybody in play. Like they want Stefanski to be successful. They want Andrew Berry to be successful. So that's what they want, but we're not seeing it right now. And so, like Steve, you just said, like he's got 3 games to show that the offense can improve. I mean, it's just one of the things where it's like, I mean, I want to see Stefanski succeed, and I want this team to succeed, but we're not seeing it again. We're not seeing a lot of winning football, and I just don't know how he can manage to get to that point. I guess, Steve, do you think, and then Sam, Steve, do you think that Stefanski can get to that point, or do you think he wants to get to that point and be the Browns coach when this?
Yes, he wants to be the Browns coach.
Okay,
I still
to get
think
to the
he can
dome.
Get to that point. He has not lost the locker room.
Okay,
All right. Despite the frustration by the players, and they should be frustrated, he has not lost the locker room. So, yeah, I think he wants to get to that point. I think he can get to that point. I mean,
what does he got to do though to get to that point? Do you think it's just the ownership and just wants him to be like 500? Just kind of be around, just be more successful, win 5-7 games every season until.
well, if they win 6, they doubled their win total in 1 year. I mean, 2 years ago, they won 11.
Yeah.
Right? They did
Right.
win 11. I didn't sleep through that, did I?
No, you didn't. And
I
that's,
didn't
but
dream that. did
isn't
I?
it disappointing though when you start thinking about the fact that you win 11 games and now we're talking about, well, if they get to 6, they've doubled their win total. It's like like
That's the
Sam says all the
NFL.
time that you bounce.
Right now, there is still no dominant team. I know Sam brought up
Yeah.
Buffalo last week, and then Buffalo go out and lays an egg at Atlanta.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
did. That was piss
Atlanta.
poor. I know I watched a lot of that game. Buffalo looked.
There is no dominant
Yeah,
team.
Josh Allen looked
None.
discombobulated. He made lots of
None.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that I'm gonna give him a chance.
Yeah.
I am not. I've seen some of the alternatives, and frankly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the other day where Paul DePodesta's name got called up again on social
Yeah, I
media.
know. That's like, where the
Why I
hell?
have-
This
you
guy,
know,
right?
I never think of Paul DePodesta until somebody else brings him up. You know what
Right?
he's doing right now?
Like,
He
why the
spent
hell
a
did they
lot of-
bring his name up this week? What's that? What's that? Just to
he
create.
spent because he's the great boogeyman. because of Tony Grossi's
that came out of nowhere.
erroneous article, which he put out, and then 2 days later would not talk about it.
This
And
week he
still
did?
doesn't talk. No, this was several years ago.
Oh,
He put out
okay.
an article. An insider told him that Paul DePodesta was calling plays from his Malibu house.
Well, Steve, you got
2
an
days
insider.
later-
You probably have the same
2 days-
insider.
Yeah, and my insider told me that's the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard in his entire
Okay,
life.
Sam, we got to figure this out. Okay, come on, Sam.
First
We're
of all,
you're
Paul
What am I gonna
DePodesta
do?
spent the last 5 years trying to get this stadium off the ground. That's
Yeah.
what he's been doing the last 5 years.
yes.
And that's what he's going
yes.
to continue to
Okay.
do until the stadium opens.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, and
think
like
of him
Lou and
until
I were
somebody
talking-
brings him up. Somebody
Lou-
brings him up, and I went, "Oh yeah, I forgot about him."
Lou made a good point, and we've kind of talked about this also with the stadium coming up, that the Indians, prior to all of what happened, they were really kind of recycling, and they got competitive in the old stadium in that 93 season, 94 season. So like, or 93. So when they opened the stadium up, the Jacobs Field in 94, they were starting to, they had
Yeah.
the players, they were
If they
young.
didn't have the strike in '94, they probably would have made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, let's pause for a quick commercial break. This is the Fanatical Elves Show. We'll be right back. Thanks for coming back to the Fanatical Elves Show. It's a Thursday night. Steve Gill, Sam Britton. Let's get back into the game on Sunday. We talked a little bit about the offense. Let's switch to talk a little bit about the defense. Bad weather, rain, wind. It's going to be a home crowd. Anxious to get a sense of what that's going to be like because of everything that's been happening. But Sam, what are you looking forward to on the defense? Do you expect the defense to rock?
I mean, I'm not totally sure. The Dolphins have some weapons. I can't say they don't. They have the running back who I can't remember his name right now for some reason. Then they have Jalen
the
Waddle. They
Dolphins?
have a lot of
Achane?
decent
Waddle?
guys. It just is.
Aikens?
And
They just
Waddle.
haven't been. Yeah, A-Chain. They just haven't been able to put anything together. I mean, their coach is basically on the same spot that Stefanski is. I mean, 1 or 2 more losses, he's gone,
Mhm.
and they
It
just
might
haven't
be
looked.
after
I mean,
this.
Tyreek Hill is out for the next 2 years probably because of what happened to him. So their team
Mhm.
is just kind of destroyed right now. I don't really know. Tua is just like who knows what's going on with him. This defense, this is a good reset game, I'd say.
Mhm.
This is a good game for everyone to just put their heads down,
Mhm.
win the game, do well, and get yourself back into that successful mindset.
Mhm.
I mean, of we can do this. Let's bring this in against the Patriots, who are one of the better teams, and let's get back to that almost elite play style they were at a few weeks ago before these past few games. And so I think that's what they need to treat it as, a reset game. Is just all right, let's get our bearing, let's reset, let's just get back to square one, and then let's treat it as if this was week 1 and then continue on the rest of the season.
If you treat it that way, Sam, week 1 and all that, Myles Garrett has been kind of a non-factor the last 3 or 4 games. He's got a half
The whole
sack.
defense really has.
Yeah, the defense itself, sure. Steve, I lost my train of thought for a split second here. Yeah, I know. Gosh dang it, son of a gun. So okay,
Come on, man, you can think of it.
I know, darn it. I had a thought, and then I completely lost it
Miles
because
Garrett hasn't been himself the last.
No, I knew that about Miles. Yeah, Miles. Anyway, okay. So Sunday again, like Sam's mentioning, like a reboot. Everybody kind of gets that. Steve? What are like? I know you do your article. Did you point out like some of the players, some of the key things that they need to do? And then I also had a question about the offensive line because it's kind of raggedy right now. What do you think? Yeah.
I don't know if Conklin's going to play. Cornelius Lucas is practicing.
He did
Cam
practice this week.
Robinson
Okay.
was limited. Tavon Jenkins was playing left tackle at the end of the Steelers game.
Okay.
So, like I said, let's put Aiden Huntington in the backfield, put the
Mhm.
2 running backs back there, put an extra offensive lineman, and just run it down their throats. They can't tackle. They're terrible against the run.
Well, I mean,
Just
if
go
he,
at them, especially in if you're talking 40 to 50 mile an hour winds,
yeah.
they're not going to be throwing the ball much.
But you'd think that,
Neither team will.
but then you see the memes and the people making fun of the fact that probably Stefanski will try to do the polar opposite of that and throw the ball and try to surprise.
Why
You
would
know,
I
his
listen
opponent.
to a meme?
I don't know.
I mean,
But what if he does?
care.
What if his team goes out and he has Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 40 times again? I mean,
I don't think he's going to have him run
Okay.
through. I agree with Sam. He may get to 30.
Okay.
I'm looking more like 22 to 25 times.
yeah,
Especially with the weather. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Unless all of a sudden Jerry Jeudy goes off and catches 10 passes for 400 yards, pulls off a Josh Gordon, and he's always open. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should throw the ball. I mean,
yeah.
just go, baby, go. Then, but he's
So-
going to run the ball.
You pointed this out earlier, and Sam, if you want to talk about this too, just for a minute before we end the show here, the AFC North itself is like no one is really running away with this. Tonight we've got the Bengals playing the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. The Steelers just
Mike
beat.
Tomlin.
Yeah. So no one's running away from this. Mike Tomlin, Sam or Steve. Sam, let's talk to you first about this, and I want to talk about Tomlin with you, Steve. Sam, do you think is there any chance you think the Browns have of getting back in this race? Because I think the Bengals are going to win tonight. I think Joe Flacco or somehow they're going to win. They're going to beat Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh will be 4-2 after they lose this, and the Bengals will be 2-5. Something like that. No, 2-3-4. Anyway, do you think there's any chance that the Browns come back? I mean, can still
Bengals
compete?
would be 3-4, and the
Yeah.
Steelers would be 4-2.
4-2. Do you think there's any shot at that, or do you
I
think
mean,
that?
technically, yeah, but is that going to hurt the team? Because I mean, if you go 10 and let's say you win 9 games out of whatever you have left, right? You go on a streak, and then you lose in the wild card. You just missed out on a top 5 overall pick.
So we should just
because
tank.
you stopped winning, and
Yeah.
or you stopped losing. I mean, and so you got to, at some point, if we lose this next game, no, I think you just got to
Yeah.
accept it, and I think you just got to lose more games, because at some point, the value of continuing to lose outweighs the value of making a playoff spot and maybe competing in the wild card, but probably losing because you'll be a 5 or 6 seed. So I definitely think if they don't win this game, then it's just, all right, let's just lose. Let's get a high draft pick. Let's get as much value out of this draft as we physically
Because
can.
we love draft picks.
If they see something in Shadur or they see something in Gabriel's, right? Let's just draft offensive linemen. Let's draft wide receivers. Let's draft a few defensive guys.
Yeah.
Let's punch as much talent into this team as possible to support one of these 2 quarterbacks if they find something in one of them.
Shout out to David Bell, who retired from football, by the way, former wide receiver of the Browns, only 24, 25 years old. I liked him when they picked him up out of Purdue. I don't know. Did you ever find out what his medical condition was?
He had surgery from a private surgeon.
Okay.
No one affiliated with the NFL or the Cleveland Browns, and things did not go well.
That's just too
That's
bad.
all I've heard. And you're not going to hear anything else because of HIPAA.
Mike Tomlinson. Mike Tomlinson.
Mike Tomlin.
Tomlin.
Yes, Mr. 2-8 on Thursday night.
Yeah, he made some stupid comments about the Browns and the Bengals this week. What's your take on that, Steve?
Since the beginning of the 2022 season, he's had 7 starting quarterbacks.
Okay.
So, really, Mike, you might want to sit this one out.
Yeah, gosh, you talk
See,
to any Pittsburgh fan.
They haven't found a quarterback to replace Ben Roethlisberger, and they never will. I mean,
No, well, he's a legend. Yeah,
well,
as much as I don't like, I mean, he did a lot for that team. I mean, he did, but even at his time, how many times did they make it to the Super Bowl with Roethlisberger? Twice?
a lot. But all I remember is his last playoff game he lost and cried.
He was crying. Yeah, he was crying there on the bench like a big baby.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad, Big Ben. Boo hoo. We don't like
Boo-hoo.
Big Ben around these parts, do we?
No, we don't.
Son of a gun. We could have had him too in the
And,
draft.
This thing with the draft picks. I mean, I hate to tell everybody this, and Browns fans don't want to hear this, but this quarterback draft class ain't that good.
Yes.
It's just not good. And I'm going to start telling you now. Last year, I told you after the season was over that the quarterback class was not good. This one is not good either. I mean, you got a guy that was supposed to be a generational talent taken number one, and they got his head coach fired because the owner felt that he wasn't doing enough to make Cam Ward more successful. The guy had a 5th round grade going into last year. So there are no generational talents at quarterback.
No, and I've watched you and I. We've all watched some of these players. I've been trying to watch some of these. No, even the kid from South Carolina. I mean, I'm not like in the LSU coach, LSU.
No,
yeah, the LSU kid. Just nothing.
These guys is you're not going to get a quarterback like that anymore. Sure, everybody.
What do you think about Bo Nix
kid and high on the Indiana kid? But I hate to tell you this, it's
the
average
kid
at best.
But okay, the kid that they just took with the Giants, what's his name?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Do you like Jackson Dart, Sam?
I love him. He's probably my favorite player right now.
Really?
Yeah, he's. I like him.
Why?
Why?
Because I don't even know if I like the way he plays. I just like the way he presents himself.
Here's the funny thing on that. I don't know if you've seen this, but Sam, you can shed some light on this because people have been pointing out that Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo or Cameron, whatever his last name is, Scatterbo,
yeah, you're
Scatterboo,
right.
posing all these stupid pictures, and they're calling it, showing swag, but then they show Shador pointing his wrist up here, and they say that he's just arrogant. Why is that? Why are people being critical of Shador for doing this? And they look at players like, Jackson Dart and say, "Oh, he's cool." I know you don't care.
Shador's carrying the Deion Sanders name. Simple as that.
Bingo.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. Okay.
That's what the Manning kid is dealing with.
So
right? What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. If Arch Manning does anything, it will get looked over and critiqued. But if the random quarterback in, let's just throw out a name like Alabama, maybe not even Alabama. You could look at someone like Utah, right? If they do something like that, they don't have that name, and they just get this guy's so cool, but because he's not carrying. So yeah, it's just the name, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting time.
It's living in SEC country. I got to see Jackson Dart a lot.
Sure.
I saw him play against a terrible Kentucky team at home, and he was just dominant until the last 4 minutes, and he made 3 mistakes, and Kentucky won.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you get with Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I see everybody after he beats the Eagles. We had the number 2 pick.
Well, they're still 2 and 4. That's my thing. Is like the Giants.
And the number 5 pick, and we didn't take him. Well, did you watch him against New Orleans when he lost to New Orleans and turned the ball over 3 times? Were you asking for him then? He's a rookie quarterback. He'll have big highs and he'll have big lows.
He's coming out a little bit to me like Baker Mayfield, a little bit, right? Is he a little bit like Baker to you, Sam? Does he fit? Is that how you look at it?
I'm not sure. Jackson Dart, right? We're talking
about
Jackson
Dart.
I didn't want to make sure we didn't move on. Yeah. No, Jackson Dart, I feel like
I know I could be all over the place, Sam, but
he's definitely different. I think he's got that same young cockiness that Baker Mayfield had and still has, to be honest. I think he has that. He hasn't had his welcome to the NFL moment, I don't think yet. He hasn't been flattened by a 280-pound, 6'7" linebacker yet. And I think that'll, you get hit, you get flattened and you're going 10 miles and you're going 18 miles an hour and then you're going 0. Yeah, that changes your brain a little bit. So I think he's just a young, white, cocky guy who's just he's like, hey
Yeah.
man, I made it to the NFL. I've got a huge following. People love me. I'm gonna just have my fun. And I mean, I think
Yeah.
he should do that, right? I mean, we put these guys on such a pedestal, but they're only like 22-year-olds, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you're 22 in college, you probably don't even remember half the Fridays you've experienced. So yeah, I think he's just like, hey, I made the NFL. I'm gonna have my fun. I'm gonna do whatever I want
Yeah.
because I made it. So I think that's kind of how Baker is also presenting himself.
Yeah.
Is he
It-
made
it
it? So
doesn't-
he's gonna do his thing.
It doesn't help. I mean, as a Browns fan and somebody who's, I like Baker Mayfield. It's just magnifying, in my opinion, for some fans. I'm not saying all fans, but because Baker is having a really good season right now and people are really buying into it, the hype, the national hype, and the Browns are really struggling, it's just making everything more pronounced. But like Steve, you said, until, Baker can, prove that he can win some playoff games,
Break your
that's,
heart.
yeah, very interesting. All right, let's do final takes here. Steve, what do you got? Anything you want to share out before we leave?
Well, let's just run the ball and beat the crap out of the Dolphins on a wet, windy
Yeah.
day. Let's just
I'll-
play some AFC North football.
I think I'm gonna have to dress in layers and make sure I
Right.
wear lots of stuff that'll keep me dry.
Netting.
Netting, yeah. All right, Sam, what do you got? Final
I
thought.
mean, I don't really have a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, run the ball. I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're not gonna be throwing the football in 35.
Well, I don't
miles an
know.
hour.
That's the thing. Like, if they start throwing the ball over the place, I'm gonna just lose
That'd
it.
be
Like,
so funny. You could do some
it's-
fun trick plays. Just throw it vertical so that the ball gets drifted over to the right and you score a touchdown. I don't know. Some crazy, weird, like cartoon stuff where it just pauses and just shifts over. No, I think running the ball is going to be key.
Yeah.
I mean, this will make it easier to stack the box, right? I mean, you don't have to worry heavily about them throwing the ball just
Yeah.
simply because of the conditions. But it's going to be an interesting game. I think it'll certainly be a hard game. I wouldn't want to be out on the field in this type of weather. I feel like that has to be brutal. But yeah, go out there, run. I mean, you've got
It's gonna be-
Judkins. So I think running the ball, just run, and I think you could definitely win this.
it's going to be relatively warm. It's not going to be like cold. I mean, it might be raining, but it's supposed to be in the mid to upper 60s, which, but you're wet. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Go Brownies. We'll have Go Browns. We'll have some pre-games. I think Sam will be doing maybe a show Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
And then Sunday, Steve and I are going to, I don't know if you'll be around, Steve, for a pregame, but I will be
I'll
up
be
in
around.
Cleveland, but I'll probably have my stuff with me, so we can probably still do a quick show before I head up to the stadium. So we can talk about that here in a minute. But all right, folks, thanks again for joining the Fanatical Elves Network, and shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. If I had to point it out, they shake the hand of the farmer. Great coffee, the greatest coffee of all time. Yes. Again, go Brownies. They're going to get a win against the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. Talk to you soon, everybody. Here we go,
Browns.
Brownies. Here we go.
Oof, oof.
This is your favorite music, Steve. You feeling like you're back in Nashville? Well, you are in Nashville.